I live in Tribeca in New York City, and I've lived in this apartment for about 18 months. We had a party the night we moved in, which is probably a ridiculous thing to do. I don't recommend it. I'm Sophie Elgort. I'm a fashion photographer. I was born and raised in New York City on the Upper West Side. My dad is a fashion photographer, Arthur Elgort. I think my dad moved in there in the early 70s when it was his studio first. We always had a lot of photos around the house. Mostly my dad's pictures and a lot of music. So, my dad was always playing like classical music or jazz, or my mom was playing opera or, musicals. We had a piano, so I grew up playing the piano. And then we had underneath the piano, we had an assortment of random instruments. So we had bongo drums and tambourines and, every sort of, they're not super neat people. So we just, everything would get sort of shoved under the piano. And then when we'd be playing or have friends come over, you'd grab all the music things out from under the piano. One person played the piano and banging on the drums, playing the, so it's very sort of loud and free for all. When I would travel with my dad, a lot of the times, I think Paris and London, and I was in Argentina, all these different places. Wherever they sort of had shoots, if I was lucky enough to have off school, or if it coincided with a break, you get to go along. I don't think we really brought anything with us that made it feel like home, except for maybe music. If you always have music around and it's something that's consistent, that sort of makes it feel like home. Even anywhere I travel, I always try to bring the little speakers. The quintessential thing that makes a home feel like a home would be, for me, photos. And I have a lot of my dad's fashion work up on the wall, some of my favorite pictures of his, as well as little by little I've been printing some of mine as well and putting them on the wall. And something I've taken from my parents' aesthetic into my own homes now would definitely be just having things be a bit eclectic, not worrying about things being too perfect, and having it be sort of inviting, so that when people come over, they feel like they can, walk in with their shoes and sit on the couch and have a glass of red wine and not freak out. It's it should be a place where you feel relaxed. In New York City, it's so chaotic sometimes outside and so crazy, and I think coming home, and this is sort of how I always felt at my parents' house, and how people always feel when they go into their places, is that they can really relax and be themselves there. And so I think that's something that I've always tried to duplicate in my own place.